Well, that's it for the Blazers. And I'm sure Blazers fans will say, fire Terry Stotts. I agree. It's too much of the same year after year. I think they have to make a change somewhere. I do think the roster needs improvement. They need a rim protector off the bench and also just more insurance in case Nurkic gets hurt again. I mean, we saw it in this one. There were a couple of possessions where Covington had to defend Jokic, similar to the last game. One of them was that hook shot that Jokic had with a couple of minutes left. It was like kind of around the free throw line. He, of course, had that three over Nurkic in the fourth quarter, which was massive. MPJ went crazy in the first quarter, and it seems like that guy can just have these moments where no matter what type of shot he's attempting, whether it's an ISO or it gets a screen, a pull-up, a turnaround, some action off the ball, that guy rises up. And, now as I say that, he didn't go too nuts besides the first quarter, but yeah, the Blazers clearly need to get some more defensive players. And the interesting conversation is, can you trade CJ McCollum and acquire more defense while not falling off on offense? I've always been on the side of don't trade CJ, especially because people would always be like, well, trade him for Blake Griffin, where it's like, well, no, Blake's just going to get hurt. Maybe there's a trade out there. I don't know. As for the Nuggets, or actually to talk about the Blazers a little bit more, their offense uncharacteristically just seemed to be kind of bad in the fourth quarter. There were turnovers. There was one where Nurkic had like that spinning thing where he lost the ball. There was one where Dame just dribbled into a bunch of traffic. It seemed like they were developing the play out of the timeout, and Dame just went straight ahead and just got stripped or lost it, whatever it was. They also had a missed three from Powell. There was one play where they tried to get some off-ball action for CJ, I believe, and the Nuggets did a good job of defending it, so it resulted in Dame having to take a shot that he can make, but it wasn't their first choice at the end of a shot clock. And, you got to give Denver credit there. It was also just kind of weird. I mean, the Blazers' offense has been great this whole series, and their offensive rating for that game is probably still fine, but it just seemed like in the fourth quarter, it was like, this is weird. You'd think they would just find ways to just constantly get Dame going downhill or isolated in one-on-ones, and it just didn't really happen. I mean, the Nuggets brought a double on Dame in the last minute or so there. I thought the Blazers were going to win this game. It was like they were up 14 in the third quarter. Like, it seemed like they were just kind of rolling to the win, and then the switch got flipped, and I mean, Jokic just became more unstoppable, I guess. The pass to, I think it was Gordon, which was the dagger. I think it was from Jokic. There was the pass to Austin Rivers, which made it like a 9-point game with about 3-4 minutes left, whatever it was. The three over Nurkic, the hook shot over Covington. Paul Millsap had one kind of big bucket in the beginning of the fourth. JaMychal Green had a big offensive rebound there late. And, now you think about the Nuggets in the next round, and they're going to be facing the winner of Suns-Lakers. And we'll have to see. I mean, I didn't think it was crazy to believe they could win a series without Jamal Murray. But next round, Phoenix is better than the Blazers. With the Lakers, I mean, we'll see if they can manage to beat Phoenix. If the Lakers are healthy, then that's still very difficult, but at this point, the Lakers are not going to be healthy. It's just the way it is. They're going to have to play through what they've got going on. So we'll see. But I think the common theme is I can't picture anybody slowing down Jokic. Not this version of Jokic. I mean, last year, Dwight could slow him down. This year, it's not going to happen. I mean, you're going to have to outscore them, or you might be one of the few teams that really has the personnel to stay glued to the shooters and the cutters and have the size to defend MPJ, and you've got the guy who can step up on Jokic when he's on the perimeter, but also defend him in the post. And I don't know if Phoenix or anyone has the personnel for that, really. And of course, it's a team game, but I mean, Jokic is just so damn good, and he's making these passes out to everybody. We'll have to see. We're waiting on the conclusion of Suns-Lakers for that. As for the Blazers, I mean, I've been saying for a while I'd like them to get more aggressive. And, Neil O'Shea, he's done a good job. It's a good team. They're in the playoffs year after year. The West is tough. They've overachieved record-wise a few times, and they've also gotten some bad breaks with injuries. Zach Collins hasn't been healthy in a couple of years, and Nurkic has been hurt, and CJ got hurt this year and all that. But still, you've got Norman Powell's free agency. Can they put some sort of a trade together? You can get conservative and do some like Derek Jones, Anthony Simons, Nasir Little with a first-round pick and probably get yourself a solid player. If you want to get real crazy, you could think about CJ, but I'm just not sure if you're going to be able to trade CJ for someone better than him. I don't know if that's really out there. But there is a move to be made amongst this roster. But if Powell wants a big contract, he's at $11.6 million on the player option, you imagine he's going to decline that, and he could probably get himself like 17, 18 a year, then the Blazers are going to have to be willing to match that. Of course, it's Powell's choice. It's not restricted free agency, but there's that. There's also Zach Collins' restricted free agency. I don't know what the hell to make of that. The perfect thing for the Blazers would be just a second All-Star, but if you're not going to have that, then you're going to need everybody else to be able to defend and make plays off the dribble. Robert Covington is a nice player, but I think in an ideal scenario, he would be the sixth man for the Blazers. He comes in and just does all his defense and shooting threes things and helping out on the boards and all that. So ideally, it's like, you replace him with somebody who can do what he does on defense and as a shooter, but also has more pop off the dribble. Well, those types of guys are not easy to get because teams like to hold on to those sorts of dudes. And also, if you're the Blazers, if you want to get someone like that, you might have to trade someone essential. Now, maybe there's a bit of an argument about who really is essential on this roster besides Dame. Nurkic has kind of fallen into being essential because the only time their defense has been good over the past couple years is with Nurkic in the game. I'm pretty sure I mentioned earlier, I think they need another rim protector off the bench. If I didn't mention that, I'm saying it now. Someone like Nerlens Noel. Maybe not him exactly, but someone like that, because their defense, it's just always falling off when Nurkic is not out there. So we'll see. It's just kind of how it is with the Blazers now. Yeah, some of it's bad breaks, but it seems like we're having this conversation every offseason. I imagine Stotts will actually be fired this time around, so that's nice. But I don't know if a new coach is going to come in and just suddenly it's like super different. It's a talent-driven league at the end of it all, and they've got one all-star. The absolute farthest you can go with that sort of thing is the conference finals and then losing to a team who's got multiple all-stars, which we saw with them when they got there against the Warriors. So that's that, man. Dame is 30, and he hasn't had any injury history, so you would imagine that he can decline, not decline, he can age well, like really well. So they've probably got, 5-year window or so to put a real championship team around Dame. But it is tough to really see the pathway to do it unless they just start throwing out draft picks like it's candy to other teams, which honestly I think they should probably do, but I don't think they're going to. So that's it. Blazers are done. Nuggets move on. And yeah.